Next up, we have a headlamp bulb, as you can see with the old one here. There we go. You can see how the one's kind of a little crusty there. The other one's still bright. The high beam's burned out on this one, which is surprising. Usually the low beams go first. Anyway, no worries. We got a new headlamp bulb here. Now the ABS module, they tucked underneath that rubber flap there. You can see the lines going to it. And that makes it a little bit of a pain actually to get to this. However, it's really not that bad. I was still able to fish it out of there. The tricky part is getting the new bulb in without touching the glass with my hands. Well, I was barely able to squeeze my hand in between the battery tray and the other positive cable and the header panel there, and I managed to get the bulb in without taking anything apart. So let's see if they all work now. If we pull the high beam switch on, we should see two lights light up. Yeah. Turn low beams on. Perfect. Excellent. Done. Next up, we had an inoperative interior light bulb there. So you can see the back one's working, but the front one is not. Hopefully we're just going to get lucky and it's a bulb. I got another bulb here. Let's try this out and see what it... Yeah, there we go. Hey, this truck just keeps getting better and better. We'll pop this little cover on here. There we go. I love this truck. Here's a replacement taillight. Nothing to it. I'm sure these are a billion of these on planet Earth with how many trucks there are out there. They use these taillights. So let's take the old broken one out, put the new one in. There we go. You know, while I'm at it here, the guy did mention that he thought one of the rear turn signals wasn't working, so it's probably this one. Looks like somebody's messed around with this a little bit, so let's check these out while we're at it. Alright, so we're getting somewhere with the lights here, guys. Just to rule things out, I checked the operation of all the lights. All three of these bulbs out here were out, so as you can see, I replaced them. Everything up there works now. The problem we're still having, though, is we have an issue with the passenger side brake light and turn signal. Now, driver's side works fine. I thought there was a harness problem here, so I started to take the harness out, but turned out to not be in this harness here, so disregard that. But let me show you guys something very interesting here. So as you make your way under the truck, right here is the connector for the rear lights. You got reverse lights, back, the license plate lights, parking lights, turn signal, brakes, everything. And don't worry, I know you're not supposed to shove a probe on your DVOM into the connector terminal there, but these just so happen to be the perfect size. They fit in there very easily, so I'm just using that just as an FYI before people call me out in the comments again. Anyway, so what I've found here is on this connector, this one here is a driver's side turn signal. Now you look at the voltmeter over there, you can see the readings. See how it's kind of jumping around there? Okay, so we're getting a good solid reading. Now we go over here to the other one, the driver's side one. Now look at the voltage on this one. See how it's much weaker? Now, it's probably not going to do it again because it was very rare that I could get it to do it. But every once in a while, when I plugged in the connectors, the parking or the brake and turn signal light here on this bulb, which is the passenger side, would light up very briefly. Okay? But as you can see, when I plug it in here, driver's side works fine. Okay? So we got a nice and bright driver's side one. But you go over here to the passenger side, and there's nothing. Just a little bit of a glow, or that's probably a reflection. But anyway, that glow is what the bulb looked like. So I think we've got a broken or a corroded wire somewhere here on the truck. And I'm going to have to start pulling harnesses apart to find it. Next on the list, fuel filter. Now, this one is an AC Delco. The reason I bought the AC Delco is because it has the plastic top housing there. It's all in one. I would buy the Motorcraft, but the problem is there's an aftermarket one in here, like a Fram or something. That's how they usually look on the top here. And as you can see, it's also part of the whole assembly as well. Now, not too bad. It doesn't look too dirty, but whenever you're buying a used truck like this, it's always good to just start over with your filters and that, because one of the most important things you can do for a diesel engine is keep the fuel clean. So I'm going to put the seal back on there, lubricate this O-ring a bit, make sure there's nothing in the bottom of the bowl that shouldn't be there. Let's take a look. And looky there, as you can see, it's a good thing we checked. That's why you always check. There's the old O-ring seal there. So we got that back on. Everything else in there looks okay. I mean, it's a little dirty. Look down in there, you guys can see all the crud and stuff down in there, but that's what a fuel filter's for. That's why they're in there. So we're gonna put a nice fresh fuel filter in this thing. New fuel filter is on. Let's turn the key on, prime it, get all the air out of there, check for leaks, make sure we got that valve off all the way, which it is. Looks good. No leaks. That's what we want to see. Valve is off, not leaking. That's good. All right, fuel filter's done. Now we have another somewhat bigger job here. I'm going to be replacing both intercooler pipes, and let me show you guys why. First off, we have a boost leak. This is pretty common. If you guys hear a hissing noise when your 7.3 is under load, or it just seems like it's lacking power, or if you got a boost gauge like this truck did, and it's not generating boost like you thought it would, you can see down there where the power steering line has been contacting this charge air cooler line, this tube, intercooler tube basically. This is the one that comes from the compressor wheel on the turbo, goes to the intercooler, cools the air, and then goes into the intake on this side. And you can see that the power steering line there has been rubbing against this pipe. See that? And it's just over time rubbed a hole into it. Now, let me show you guys something that I found here. I found these on Amazon, and look at how thick these pipes are. See, this is interesting because not only were these pipes cheaper than the ones that I put on my Excursion, but I bet you these are 2 or 3 times thicker. I mean, these things are super, super heavy duty. Look how thick that is. So you won't be wearing a hole through this anytime soon. And look at these rubber boots, these new boots that they send you with it. They're huge, and the clamps are stout, they're heavy duty, and I paid less for these pipes than I did the thin ones that I put on my Excursion. So shop around, guys, read reviews, and when you buy something like this, leave a review so other people know. These pipes also fit better. You can see they put the flat spot here so it doesn't rub through that power steering line again. This was an awesome product. I'll put a link to it in the description for you guys. So here you go, first pipe's out. And as you can see, there's a whole source of our boost leak. That was a problem. Take a look in here and see what that looks like. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can't really see it. But anyway, yeah, you look at the thickness of these pipes and then compare it to the aftermarket ones. I'll show you guys a comparison here. There's one pipe. Got that out. The old one's out. We're ready to put the new one in. But before we do that, I'm going to take the one on the other side here out as well. Here's a side-by-side comparison with the old and the new. I mean, look at the difference here. Here's the old one. There's a new one. Look at the thickness difference of that rubber boot. These things will take some serious boost and last for a long time. Not that we really plan on turning this truck up or anything, but still. And look at that. That's awesome. And I know everybody's probably going to say, oh, you're being sponsored by whoever sent you these, now that, you know, people are starting to do stuff like that. I'm not being sponsored by these guys. I just bought these off of Amazon. I'm really happy with them, and I'm letting you guys know so you don't buy the other bad ones like I have in the past. These are cheaper and they're better. Buy them. No sponsorship from them towards me. I'm just seeing something I like. And here are the new intercooler pipes. I really like the way they look. You know, it doesn't look too flashy, but at the same time it looks super clean like the rest of the top of the engine does. I really like that. They're heavy duty. These things are solid. I mean, they feel solid, but you can still tell there's a little bit of flex in them for engine vibration. And there's the old ones, again with that hole in the middle there, and you can see that was causing the boost leak, and oil leak as well. But that's all taken care of. We got these on. They look good, and they're going to fix the boost leak.